Hi everybody, it's Paul Cooper with Totes and Notes, and I'm doing a video series on LinkedIn. I've been getting a lot of questions about this when I was telling people that I really don't reach out to asset managers via cold call. Almost all of the people I work with have come through LinkedIn or some type of other marketing or handshake introduction from someone else. And people were pretty intrigued by this, so I just kind of want to show you how to be a little bit of a LinkedIn ninja, and hopefully this will help you get some of your business going. So right now, I hope all of you at least have some basic knowledge of LinkedIn. It's pretty easy and straightforward if you know how to use Windows or Mac or anything like that. It's very simple. So here's my home page at the moment. We'll go to network. So I have 8,706 connections, and when people hear that, they generally get excited and they want to have that. And so I'm going to show you how to do it. I've had LinkedIn for a long time, since probably 2012 or so, which, maybe, no, even later than that. I had it back when I was in college. And just because I went to a class and they told us, oh, you got to have this as the future, I never really used it. I got a government job and I haven't had to use it for that. So really I started using it back late last November 2017, in early December, when I was really starting to try to get the business going. And so in a few months, I've added a ton of connections, and that's what this is about. I'm going to show you how to do that. So hopefully you're not having to, waste your time with a bunch of phone calls. Now, that being said, making phone calls is important, and you should do it. But this can be easier for the time spent, and it'll help you find some people to connect with. So what we're going to search for, we're going to focus on asset managers in this first video. So what you want to search for are chief credit officers. I'll pull it up here. This is what you want to search for: chief credit officer, secondary marketing, and special assets. Those are the three things that you want to look for asset managers. If you just type in asset managers, you're going to get a lot of garbage. Because just about every type of business has an asset manager. So you'll find cleaning companies, you'll find a ton of real estate companies. Now, some of those are good and some of those are bad. It's going to be a smaller percentage. You're either going to have to spend more time separating the wheat from the chaff, or you're just going to have a bunch of garbage on there too. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. But I would focus on these three first, and then you can go from there. So chief credit officer. Now you want to make sure that your connections are set at second and third. Otherwise, your first connections are people you've already connected with, so that's just taking up space. So let's go here. We got Todd Crowley, Executive Vice President, Chief Credit Operations Officer at A&B Bank. I've already invited all these people. I used to do this a lot. So you may, once you start doing this a bunch, you may have to go several pages back to find people to send invites to. For me, I've got to go way back since I've sent out a ton of invites. We're on the 10th page, and still, these are all people I've seen before. Here we go. I've got to go to the 15th page before I even find someone. Carl Miller, Executive VP, Chief Credit Officer at the Bank of the Orient. He doesn't have a picture up. That's one thing a lot of people won't do, is they won't connect with people that don't have profile pictures. So you need to make sure that you at least have that and some basic stuff out on your home page. And then when you're trying to connect with people, if they don't have a picture, that's up to you if you want to. I usually go ahead and do it, just because it's not really hurting me if I do it. But you can look here, Carl Miller, no picture, nothing. 81 connections. This guy is probably, as far as a LinkedIn connection, he's probably a loser just because he doesn't get on. You still may want to connect with him, see if you can get some information from him, but I doubt this guy gets on often. And so, you may get a decent email from exporting his data later, but as far as sending him messages, you're probably not going to get it. And if you can't get that first message to him to connect, then you're not going to be able to get his email. So that's up to you if you want to spend time on that or not. It's up in the air. And so that's what you want to look for. Let's say certain banks are trying to get rid of stuff, or you can find it on Distress Pro, Lane Guide, or just through your other connections you hear through the grapevine that such and such bank is selling stuff. well, then you could plug in chief credit officer, secondary marketing, special assets, and then you can actually search for that specific bank. Yeah, so I mean, if you know the person's name, you can put that in. But if you just know the company, then you could even not even put in those titles and just put in the company name and search for it that way and see who you can find that way. So that's a pretty good one if you know specific banks are looking to sell. Otherwise, you're just doing a general search for chief credit officer, or we'll do secondary marketing. Let's see. And so here you can see that I've already sent these people invites. But, secondary marketing analyst at New American Funding, that may not be the person you want to talk to. Generally, you're going to want the manager. That being said, I do send a lot of these people information anyways, just because you never know. They may know the person that you want to connect to, and some of these people are paid pretty well, so they may actually want to invest. And if you end up getting a bunch of people on your list that aren't responding to connections, then you just uninvite them. If they do connect, but they're not the right people and they're not reading your emails or whatever, then you can remove them from your database later on. It's not that big a deal. You just have to figure out what you want to do. Do you want to spend more time on the front end with higher quality individuals that you're inviting, or would you rather do a quick shotgun and then go from there? It's your choice. And a lot of this stuff is pretty easy, and you can get a VA to do it. You can train them up on how to do it, and then you can go from there. So you're not having to spend all your time on it. That being said, it's real easy. I do this a lot when I'm at work on my breaks. I'll listen to a podcast or something while I'm doing it. You can do it while you're watching Netflix. If you have specific time set aside for your business, then you don't want to be spending all your time on this, because you probably have higher and better use things that need to be taken care of. That being said, you probably want to spend a couple hours just learning how to do it, making sure it works, and then if you want to hand it off to a VA, you do that then. So once you find these people, let's see, we'll do special assets. Here's some more people you can connect with. Oh, I actually have some people here I could try connecting. Once you find the people, you want to have some type of template set up for connecting with them. People are like, oh, you need to have a custom tailored message. Kind of. You want to have a template because you don't want to be, basically coming up with a brand new message for each individual person, but you do want it tailored a little bit, depending on who you're sending it to, the type of person they are. So for asset managers, I just like to introduce myself. I'm the manager of Totes and Notes, and that we buy first position distressed mortgages throughout the U.S., and if there's anything I can help with, please let me know. Just something very, generic with just a little bit of information about who I am, because that first message you send them to connect, I forget how many characters it is. It's not a very long message, so you kind of have to be to the point. Once you're connected, you can spend a lot more time explaining to them what you do, and you'll get a lot more room in your following messages. So after that message, once they connect, then I would send them something like, hey, we buy, residential property, 250K and under throughout the U.S. most major metroplexes. If you have stuff in California or some other states, we can go up to 500 where the values are higher. We look at residential, $1 million and under, or whatever you're looking for. That's when you want to explain it to them, and you can ask them, hey, are you the correct person that handles this? And if not, if you are, then I'd love to look at all your assets. And if you're not, then who at your bank would I need to contact to? Would you please put me in contact with them? And, you just keep following up that way. If they have questions for you, you answer them. You can lead to a phone call. But that's how you originally kind of want to mine for these asset managers. Let's see. So that's what you want to do to get started, is you want to collect all these asset managers, and then you'll eventually want to export all of your data to, off of LinkedIn and put it into your email database, whether you use MailChimp or some other type of email provider. And then you'll be able to start targeting people through there, and I'll cover that in an upcoming video. So this one's just how to define your asset managers, who you want to be looking for, how you want to connect with them. And if you have any questions, please reach out to me, and I'll have another video for you guys shortly. Thank you.